it's a fun exercise to visit over and over again. I look at some of my things. I'm like, yeah, I still want that. Or wow, I hit that. But hey, I don't want that anymore. Like that, I don't see myself traveling that much, speaking as much as I thought, unless my family's coming with me. That's one of the things I learned last year. Like we had the hurricane coming through Milton, and I stand for dads, and my whole team's in Nashville. They're like, "Hey, are you coming?" I'm like, I don't
Mm,
know. I'm either coming with my whole family and we're driving up there, or
right.
I'm not, because I'm not
Yeah.
bailing on them when a hurricane's coming through.
Okay. I'm going to pause you because I did. 2008 Hurricane Ike. And see, this is the person that I was. 2008 Hurricane Ike came into Houston. Um, my wife and I had been married for 2 years. I was such a jerk. That's a nice way to put it. I think you could probably go harsher and just call I was an asshole. And what happened was, um, Ike was coming through, and at the time we were hosting all of these bank and credit union websites. And so I was like, I gotta fly to Dallas. I gotta have, sustainability, contingency plan. I left my wife in Houston, went to Dallas, and I'm literally sitting there. I'm like, what are you doing? And so I was like, I need a big truck. Cause I was like, I'm gonna drive back. And this is not like a heroic valiant thing. This is like I just maybe realized what I was doing was not the right thing. So I rented this big like Dodge Ram pickup truck, drove back into Houston the day that Hurricane Ike was coming in,
Hmm.
got to the house about maybe 4 hours before it like made landfall. And yeah, so when you're talking about your narrative, and I'm going to give it like a juxtaposition to where I was, I'm totally aligned with you now, man.
I love that you see that path. I mean, go look at one of my LinkedIn things I wrote a couple of weeks ago. Like it starts off saying I'm a jerk, I'm a this, I'm a that, because those things were all true. Like I was
Hmm.
super selfish racing Ironman. They call them Iron Widows for a reason. Like I remember getting
Mm.
ready for like a short race, just kind of like a training race over in St. Pete. It was like Olympic distance,
Like a sprint.
St. Anthony's Olympic distance try. And I had
Yeah.
I just wanted to test a wetsuit, so I went and got in the water. There's one other person on the beach. I go in the water, I swim. It's my wife's birthday weekend, by the way. I'm dragging her to a triathlon, so trust me, I've been there. I come out of the water, and my wife, in her cute little Ecuadorian accent, goes, "Mi amor, what's an Iron Widow?" And I'm like, "Where is she? Where is the person that told you this?" Like, it was all like, "Oh my God, now you know what the truth is of training 20 hours a week, working 50 plus hours a week, and how selfish I was going after my own goals." I don't know that, I don't know that, like, now I will create time freedom to be able to do the things I want to do, because it's more important this to be with a family than it is for me to go get my goals. But I was in a different stage. I was in my 30s then. Now I'm 50.
I think that right there is something that for those watching and listening, if we can either help prevent pain or help you just realize where you might be today, my wife was not even part. I'm being 100% honest. Was probably was not part of my bigger vision a decade or so ago.
Yeah.
I was so just focused on, we'll just call it JR Lay Inc. that nothing else mattered. And so I think, bringing all of this back to full circle, when we think about setting a bigger vision than we have today, like you said, Dan's quote is, always make your future bigger than your past.
Hmm.
It's more than just about the vision for the business. It's including those that are closest to us, our family, our spouses, our kids. And that's something I know that you have done. You have integrated this idea of a vision board, an action board to really take this 10-year vision, 3-year picture, 1 year all the way down and make it real. And visualize it. What was that experience like doing that with your family? to include them in the vision.
Well, thanks to you. I mean, you were one of the people that inspired me. It was you and one other gentleman who came into one of the dad's coaching groups I was part of, right? And he talked about a river of values, continuing on through his family. But he also talked about what we're talking about. He talked about, being a multi-million-dollar real estate investor, but like his life with I think he had 4 kids, his marriage was failing. There was no communication. Everything was about achieving. There was no family involvement. There was no value-based decisions. And so I did the exercise based on what I saw you post about your family. I'm like, that is cool. And then when I saw him, I just picked a date. Like, I'll offer anybody, if you guys just write this down, this is the most valuable thing I'll say. Promise. Pick a date, pad. Pick a date you're starting. Just pick a date. You don't have to know how you're getting there. Pick a date. And so I said to my wife, Patty, I'm like, Mia Moore, we're going to do this family vision setting. We're going to do this value setting, get our family values nailed down. Find us a staycation in Kissimmee. Like, we're in Orlando, right? So there's a million places to go stay. I'm like, find us a big enough place with a kitchen so we can cook for ourselves and eat healthy. And let's go for the weekend with the boys. They won't know it or like what we're doing. Let's just do it. And we did. And I had no idea how to do it. Like, the first day, I'm like, okay, vision boards. How do we do this? We brought as many magazines as we could find, markers, boards. And we watched a Jim Rohn video about, having your future be a magnet. And so I had him watch a Jim Rohn 20, 25-minute YouTube thing. And then I had him do Tony Robbins, his priming to really put you in breathing and energy and set the state and hack your neurons, right? To hack your brain. And I look over and my 10-year-old doing the chicken dance and making faces at us as we're doing the Tony Robbins breathing. But it was fun. Like, we're a reflection. Like, what comes back to us is a reflection of our inner world. And there's so many different perceptions, right, of what that looks like. If that was me a couple of years ago when I wanted to control and make sure we all breathed right and we close and we visualize, but I get the one flapping like a chicken, pecking his head while we're all breathing silly. And you start laughing. It was fun. It was a fun weekend. They hem and hawed. It wasn't perfect. I'm just saying this because people have to see the truth of how this really goes when you're trying to lead your family into the unknown. I had no flipping clue how to do this. And the next day, the same thing. They're like, oh, man, again? Really? We're going to do this again, Dad? It wasn't easy, but we did it. And now we sat down like a month ago and we did the values again. I said, hey, let's look at this list from Garrett Gunderson about setting our family, constitution. And here's a bunch of words. And like, we already wrote ours down. I'm like, yeah, but we all think they mean different things.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a list. Let's go through this and let's just see if we're really on the right page before I print something out and put it on the wall.
If you want to keep learning from videos like this one, I recommend you check out this video right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast conversation, you can click here.